Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV and welcome to another video. First things first, guys, make sure you smash a like and make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. And as always, leave your thoughts down in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree with anything I've said in this video. And no sooner than the dust has settled on the British record signing of Moises Caicedo, Chelsea have done it again. Liverpool have been mudded again. Romeo Lavia is set to join the Blues for £53 million plus £5 million add-ons. £58 million total package with a medical set to take place this week. And the club hope to have him announced and unveiled in time to feature in the squad for Sunday's game against West Ham. It's another midfield signing. We've beaten Liverpool again. Liverpool made him feel like a side man when they dropped him to go and pursue Moises Caicedo. So not once have they been rejected, but they've now been rejected twice. Those Scouse tears always taste better second time round. It can't be denied. But in terms of Romeo Lavia coming in, I mean, what a midfield revamp we've had, by the way, people. I don't think any of us could have expected to have moved from a fading Kante, Jorginho and Kovacic to Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo and Romeo Lavia in the space of 6 months. And I know the owners have come in for a lot of criticism during their short spell at the club so far, but credit where credit's due. They've overseen a ridiculous clear out of dead wooden players that didn't want to be here. And they have invested and shown ambition beyond what any of us could have expected, really, in the players they're bringing in, the quality they're bringing in. And this is another prime example of that. We're kind of moving like Real Madrid in this midfield rebuild. It is unbelievable where we're at right now in terms of three of the best young midfield players certainly in European football. No two ways about it. In Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, and now Romeo Lavia. In terms of where Lavia is going to fit in, it's an interesting one because theoretically, he probably would have played more minutes at Liverpool. He certainly would have been more of a regular starter. But in terms of where he fits in at Chelsea, it's going to be interesting because if we go with a traditional 4-2-3-1, then it's clear that the main partnership is going to be Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. But if we switch things up and go with a 4-3-3 potentially, then Lavia can sit as that deep number 6 and allow Fernandez and Caicedo to move further forward and operate as the two number 8s while still doing some defensive duties and etc. But it's going to be interesting because some people are saying, well, did we actually need Romeo Lavia when you've got the likes of Andre Santos at the club, when you've got Chukwuemeka, when you've got Cesare Casadei, when you've just signed Ugo Chukwu as well? You know, there's so many options there, so many different options, so many talented young players. And I know that not all of those guys are going to feature this season. Two of those are going to go on loan. Well, Casadei's already gone on loan. Ugo Chukwu set to go on loan. Maybe Carney could potentially still go on loan as well. But you talk about options and you talk about quality and you talk about all these things and that Chelsea have lacked in midfield for so long. And now we've got an abundance of options, an abundance of quality and so much quality and strength in depth. I mean, in terms of how Chelsea managed to get this deal done, I think Joe Shields was massively key to getting this done in terms of, you know, his relationship with Lavia. Obviously knew him from the time at Manchester City. Then they went to Southampton together. And he's been instrumental in getting Lavia to come to the club as well. And, you know, when you need a favour, when you need to convince someone to join, who do you call upon? A little legend himself, Eden Hazard, obviously at the game on Sunday. But little did we know, he had been meeting with Lavia in London, selling him the Chelsea project, selling him the Chelsea dream, as it were, and convincing him to join. So even after he's left, King Eden supplying us with one final assist, which we're obviously very grateful for. No two ways about it at all. But it does complete that midfield rebuild, and it begs the question, particularly now with Nkunku out, are Chelsea we saw the back 5 against Liverpool, which took everyone by surprise. But could we see the return to the traditional 4-3-3 back what we used to have when Jose Mourinho first came? You know, just when we had like Makaleli, Lampard, Essien, Ballack, those guys in the midfield. Could we now see a 4-3-3 deployed in Nkunku's absence, where you've got Lavia at the base, Enzo and Caicedo as the two number 8s? Look, it's freeing up so many options. Even in the 4-2-3-1, you could have Enzo operating as a more advanced number 10 potentially, whilst Nkunku's out, and have the defensive pivot of Caicedo and Lavia. Even if you go with a 3-5-2 like we saw against Liverpool, there's still options there. You can have the back 3, and then you can have Lavia and Caicedo again sitting in front of that as a defensive pivot, as the shield, and allow Chilwell and James to essentially play as wingers, and have Enzo just floating in that free role behind the two forwards. So it brings a lot of options there. It brings quality, and like Caicedo, Lavia obviously not quite on that level yet. He's 2 years younger. But he's got bags and bags of potential, and he really shone in a Southampton side that was awful last season. Ended up finishing bottom of the table, comfortably relegated. But he really shone, particularly. Remember at Stamford Bridge, he was exceptional. He completely dominated the midfield when we lost 1-0 there. Even when we played at St Mary's right at the start of the season, he scored an absolute worldie. He was a very good player. He stood out this season, and there's a reason why other clubs have been tracking him. But I think it's key as well that Chelsea were putting in that groundwork. We put that groundwork in, all the way back in, I think, deadline day on January. We had a £50 million verbal proposal turned down. So we made it clear that even back in January that we wanted this guy. We kept the contacts going. We've got a good relationship with Southampton, selling them Livramento, obviously the Amanda Broya loan as well. So all these things, pay a factor in getting a player to join the club. And it's fantastic that he's chosen to join Chelsea for the next part of his career. It'll be another long-term contract. And I'm fascinated to see how he does. I really am, because now we have got real options in the midfield. And yes, you can say, well, how much rotation is there really going to be this season? But it only takes one injury and then you're down to 3 and there's only one rotation. So he will see plenty of minutes. But this isn't just a signing for this season. This will be looking at a signing for many, many years to come. And then when we start playing in multiple competitions again next season, when we're back in the Champions League, hopefully, then the squad depth and the squad rotation is going to become key. And Lavia will start seeing a lot more minutes. Andre Santos will see more minutes as well. And as far as, you're looking at options in the pivot, you need 4 options. No two ways about it. Even if we're only playing in the domestic cups in the league this season, you need 4 options in there. And to have Romeo Lavia, to have Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, and Andre Santos in there. Maybe you could throw Conor Gallagher into the mix as well. I suspect that he could potentially try to be sold in an attempt to balance the books, as it were. But there are great options there. Really good options. Great young players as well. And in the manager, Maurizio Pochettino, who is renowned for developing young talents into special players, we've almost got a dream scenario, dare I say it. It's important not to get too carried away. Yes, Lavia's got experience. Yes, Moises Caicedo's got Premier League experience. But these guys, there will need to be a little bit of an adaptation period. It's obviously a different way of playing with different players, different systems, different understandings are required to be formed. But I do feel, particularly in Caicedo's case, he can come in and hit the ground running. Lavia, it may take him a little bit longer to do that, but it really is an exceptional signing. It's a fantastic signing. Yes, it's a lot of money. Of course it is, for a 19-year-old that's had 1 season in the Premier League. Let's make no mistake about it. We've probably overpaid. But ultimately, these are investments for the future as well as now. And I've got every faith that it's going to be worth every penny, this midfield revamp. It really is. And now, you're looking at us, and I'm not saying we're going to be title contenders this season or anything like that, but you look at that midfield, those midfield options now, are there really any better midfield options in the league? I mean, Man City, of course, are a joke, but I think the midfield options are better than what Arsenal have got. They're certainly better than what Liverpool have got. I think the midfield options are better than United. They're certainly better than Spurs. They're better than Newcastle, in my opinion, even though Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes is a fantastic partnership. Like, we have now suddenly elevated ourselves from having a terrible midfield now into top tier midfield. And I cannot wait to see how it goes. But that's just my thoughts on Romeo Lavia, guys, how he's going to fit in. Another great signing. Chelsea doing another madness, mudding Liverpool again. And it's fantastic to see. And I can't wait to see, hopefully, Caicedo and Lavia both make their debuts against West Ham on Sunday. But yeah, people, let me know your thoughts on the Romeo Lavia signing. Do you think we actually needed him? Are we signing now too many midfield players? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. Make sure you smash a like. If you enjoyed what I've had to say and you want to check out more of what I do, feel free to subscribe to my personal channel. Link will be in the description, so feel free to check that out. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you again in another video soon. Take care, up the Chelsea, and peace out, people.